Hello everyone, this is chapter 6 CSS. Now we'll see what is CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, which contains the rules for the presentation of HTML. So when we combine HTML with CSS, that forms a web page. CSS was introduced to keep the presentation information separate from HTML markup content. Now we'll see the history of CSS. Firstly, CSS1 was the first edition which was introduced in 1996. Then after that, CSS2 was published in 1998 and provides enhancement over CSS1. After that, CSS 2.1 was the last second generation edition of CSS. At last, CSS3, which is the latest edition, with several new functionalities, have been provided. Functions like rounded corners, background decoration, box shadows, which are demonstrated in the subsequent sections. So all these new functions which are added in CSS3, which now we'll study. Now we'll see some advantages of CSS. A web application which contains of web pages, hundreds of web pages which are created using HTML. So we can create a web page which has the capacity to store hundreds of web pages. Second, formatting these HTML pages, which will be laborious process of formatting elements needs to be applied to each and every page. We have to apply these formatting elements to each and every page. So that will be a laborious process. So CSS can help us with that. Third, CSS saves lot of work as we can change the appearance and layout of all the web pages by just editing a single one. We can just apply it to once and it will change to all the web pages. Now we'll see the syntax of CSS. A CSS rule set consists of a selector and a declaration block. In selector you can see, in the example you can see that is example is given color red semicolon font size 15px. That means a selector points to the HTML elements you want to style. So a selector basically, the selector points to the HTML elements you want to style. Like here you can see H1, which is used for the heading part. So that is the selector. Next is the declaration block, contains one or more declarations separated by semicolons. We can use in the example here you can see there is two declarations which is separated, both are separated by the semicolons. One is for the color and second is for the font size. And the third, each declaration includes a property name and a value separated by a colon. So first when we'll write a property and then we'll write the value, that is both is separated by a colon. That is the syntax of CSS. Now we'll see the types of CSS. Mainly CSS is of three types. First is internal styles, second is inline styles, third is external styles. First is internal styles. Internal styles are placed inside the head section of a particular web page via the style tag. Internal styles are also called embedded styles. Mainly internal styles are placed inside the head section, that is in the upper portion. Second is inline styles. Inline styles are placed directly inside an HTML element in the code. That means an inline style is used to define a style for a single element of an HTML document. Okay, now third is external style. An external style sheet is a separate page which is then linked to a web page. So it is linked externally. It is an external file which is afterwards linked to a web page. Now we'll see internal style sheet in detail. An internal style sheet holds the CSS code for the web page in the head section of a particular file. This makes it easy to apply styles like classes or IDs in order to reuse the code. The downside of using an internal style sheet is that changes to the internal style sheet only affect the page the code is inserted into. So internal style sheet is created within an HTML document by using the style tag. The styles for different HTML elements such as body, headings, that is defined inside the style tags. Now we'll see the example of the internal style sheets. As you can see the code in the left side, like the HTML normal code, HTML head style. Inside the style tags, we have given the background color, and H2 heading also. H2 means the heading number 2. So the background color we have given maroon. In the right side you can see the output. The heading color the background color is maroon and the heading size is H2. According to that the output is given. Now after that we do as the same. We just close all the tags at last. Now we'll see inline style sheet. An inline style sheet loses many of the advantages of the style sheet. To use inline styles, add the style attribute to the relevant tag. The style attribute can contain any CSS property. Like example we can see h1 style is equals to color blue, margin left 30 pixel. This is a heading. This is just an example. Now we can see the example with the image. So here you can see in the left side the code we have used, that is the body style is equals to background color is blue. So the background color in the output you can see that is set blue. Now the heading style is H2 is used. After that the color yellow of the heading style 2. That means the heading color is referred as yellow, and the alignment is also given here. So the alignment is the center align. This is the example of inline style. Now we'll see to the external style sheet in detail. Ideal when applied. External style sheet. So this is ideal when applied to many pages. As I have told you that it is linked to the web page externally, and it is ideal only whenever we apply to many pages. An external style sheet can be written in any text editor. Your style sheet could be saved as .css extension. Now we'll see the example here. Firstly HTML head, then link rel is equals to style sheet. That means that is the link given of the external sheet which should be added in a web page, and the type should be text with CSS, and href, that means the reference of the my style sheet.css. Where it should be added and what is to be added, that is all given in this line. So this is the output you can see, and the paragraph heading is also given, and in the down the paragraph is written. So that is the example of external style sheet. Now we'll see the formatting with CSS property. First is CSS background. We can use CSS background properties to define the background effects of an element. So we can use the background properties also to enhance the background more. So the following properties are there. First is background color. We can use any background color which we want to use, as we have seen in the previous example. Second is background image. We can add any image we want to add as a background. Background repeat. We can just repeat the background as according to our wish. And fourth one is background position. We can position the background according to our need as left, right, center or anything. Now we'll see the first property, that is the background color. Here you can see the style tag is used, and here it is given as the font tag. Text of the color is red, and the background of the color in which the text is written is given as black. This is according to the code. Now we'll see the text formatting properties. In the text formatting there are following properties. Firstly is text color. Text color, we can give any text color which we write according to our need. Next is text alignment. We can align the text that in left, right, center or justified. Next is text decoration. We can just add many effects to the text or many font or anything we can just add to the text to enhance our text. Next is text transformation. We can just transform our text. And last is text indentation. Now we can see the text alignment and the code for it. We can either align the text to the left, right, center, or we can make it justified. There are 4 options. So here in the code, in the example, you can see text align left, and H1 heading we have given text align center. In the paragraph, the alignment should be left, and in the of the heading, the alignment should be at the center, because the heading is always exist in center. Now the text color property, as you all know, that is used to set the color of the text. The body of the color should be blue, and the paragraph of the color is to be magenta. Now we can see the example here, that is the paragraph. The paragraph is center aligned. The first line is center aligned. Now the second line is right aligned, and the third line is left aligned, and the fourth line is justified aligned. So you can see the various 4 types of alignment here. And this is the text color. This is the example of text color. Like the example of first one is heading is given H1 and the color is given crimson, and the paragraph text is given as dark blue color. Now we'll see CSS font. CSS font properties are used to define the font family, size, style, and boldness of the text. There are 2 types of font family here. Generic family, a group of font family with a similar look like serif and monospace font family. A specific font family like Times New Roman or Arial. Now we use comments in CSS, which is the part which is not taken in the code. So that is referred by this: a slash, then an asterisk, then the comment should be written, then an asterisk, and the slash should be closed. Now we'll see the example here. That is the font type and font size is mentioned here in the left side of the code, and the output is given here. And the background color is also mentioned there in the previous slide. That is, the background color is yellow. Now we can see next one is CSS border. You can use the CSS border properties to specify the style and color of elements border. So there are 3 values in CSS border, that is border style, border width, and border color. Example we can see, that is border style solid, border color indigo, border width 5px. That is, the width of the border should be 5 pixel broad, and the color of the border should be indigo color, and the border style should be solid. That means it should be thick. And the next, and in the last second line, it is written, this paragraph text is a double border style. That means a double border should be shown in the output. Next we can see, that is the CSS margin. And normally in the copies also you can see the margins are on the left side, on the right side, on both the sides some margins are used. Likewise we can use the margins in the web page also. So in the margins properties you can specify the space around the elements or the document you used to write. How we specify margin here, that the values are margin from top, margin top. In the top we have to leave the space, so we write margin top. In the bottom we have to leave the space, we can write margin bottom. In the right, margin right. In the left, margin left. And we can just give the values. Now we'll see the example of CSS margin. Here you can see in the left side, that is margin left 20 pixels. So margin is from the left, we leave 20 pixels of space to write the paragraph, and from the margin top 40 pixels of space should be left. And in the paragraph which is written below, that is the margin left, in the left side 70 pixels should be space left, and from the right side 50 pixels should be left. So this is the output you can see according to the example. Now, the float property. This is in its simplest use, the float property can be used to wrap the text around images. When we use a particular image around the text, then the float property is used. More you will understand with the help of this image. That is a an image is placed and the text is wrapped around it. So to show this effect, the float property is mainly used. You can use the image in anywhere around the text according to the left, right or center. So that's why the float property is used. That's all for today. Thank you.